Okay. Oh,
Hello.
we have 1 minute left.
Are we live?
We are live. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hello, welcome everybody.
Hello.
You want to pull that up over
Oh,
there?
yes.
Okay, just...
Glad it's working.
Oops. Meanwhile, Aissa, we could have some casual banter.
Okay.
For the lucky ducks who are tuning in this incredibly early into the broadcast. And by incredibly early, I mean a minute in advance. / maybe not. Oh, no, at all. It is 3 p.m. currently. It is the start of our broadcast.
Hello.
Yeah, so we were just talking casually. Oh, hi!
Oh, hi.
Hi. I didn't notice you there.
Yes. Again?
I guess.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
I am Aissa.
And I am Nick. And
Together we are
Aissa.
Nick. Yep.
It's the name of a unit, I guess.
But we're also company members with Playmakers Lab. So Playmakers Laboratory is an arts education organization in Chicago. And we teach creative writing in Chicago public schools for grades 3rd through 5th. And and then we turn the stories from those classes into performances. And
performances that delight the senses and boggle the minds of the children and those children's respective adults. Okay, we turn those stories into songs and sketches and dance numbers and all sorts of things like that.
Oh yeah. Super fun stuff.
The one story in particular that I wanted to talk about today was one that was written last year by a student named Angelo. And Angelo was a student that I actually got to teach, and he had a lot of really fun stories. You know what? Actually, before we even get to that, sorry. Angelo was a student who had a lot of really fun stories. He wrote a lot of stories about like horror movie characters, like Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees having adventures or whatever. That was kind of his thing.
Story.
And then what was I gonna say? But this last story that he wrote was not about that. It was about a car. It was called My Bugatti, and it was about a Bugatti Veyron.
And what is a Bugatti, Nick?
A Bugatti is an Italian car manufacturer, and the Bugatti Veyron is the world's fastest production car, or consumer car, excuse me, that you or I or any other person off the street could just buy. We could just buy a Bugatti Veyron if we have like a lot of money. A lot of money.
Sounds very expensive.
It's prohibitively expensive, but theoretically it is available for a consumer to buy, and is the fastest car that you can do that with. Anyway, but the other fun thing about it is it's super luxurious, right? Mm-hmm. It's a super luxurious, super fancy, super fast car, and Angelo wrote a story about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I actually have that story right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called My Bugatti. So here's the story. So once upon a time, I had a Bugatti. It cost $1 billion. I was so rich. My Bugatti was blue, my favorite color. One day I went to drive around and people said, "Wow, what a nice car," a kid said. I was really happy for his compliment. He even told me to have a good day, sir. I was amazed for this respectful kid. The end. But actually, then one day I got into a car accident. I was so angry. All that money for nothing. The real end. That's pretty good.
It is a very good story. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Riveting.
I just wanted to pull up the comments so we could start seeing folks' feelings stream in. This is a really fantastic story. It had a lot of personality. One of my favorite.
Oh, Taylor says he can't buy a Bugatti.
Yeah, no. Oh, I'm sorry, Taylor. It's okay. Neither can most human beings. But anyway, one of my favorite parts of that story is where a kid saw his car and just said very respectfully, "Wow, what a nice car."
Oh, wow.
Well, what was Angelo's reaction to that?
Oh, well, he said he was really happy for this compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was amazed.
And he was also amazed. Yeah, you're right.
Amazed at how respectful this kid was. So, anyway.
It looks like we also have Bugatti in our comment section, so if anybody wants to check it out, It's all right there too.
Oh yeah, somebody posted like a picture of it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Yes. So if you want to see what it looks like, it is a very aesthetically appealing car. What I kind of was inspired to do with this song was, or with this story, was to turn it into a song. I just gave it away. Whoops. Sorry. I'm going to be turning. I turned the story My Bugatti into a song. And specifically, so the school that Angelo went to, a lot of his fellow students were really, really into Korean pop music.
Oh.
Which was fun because I don't think any of them were Korean, but they really liked Korean pop music, which was fun for me because I'm Korean and I did not really know that it was so popular in elementary schools in Chicago among non-Korean kids. But in any case...
What do you mean? What made it so... But you said it was like so popular. It was like where people have like stuff. Or?
Yeah. So like there were students who every day wore a BTS shirt, or like multiple students. And when I say they were students, I mean multiple students every single day had BTS like gear or like shirts or backpacks or whatever. We had some students write some stories about K-pop band members. And like using all their names that mean nothing to me because I don't actually know what any of these folks' names are. These very talented young performers who are in these K-pop bands, but they're really, really cool. And they have great hair. And really
great outfits. It's very colorful.
Very cool outfits. They're good at dancing.
Yes. Dancing is very important.
Dancing and the music.
Well, and just like in the unity, it feels like it's always like a group. So it's like.
Yeah, exactly. That's like one of the things that like kind of is going strong with Korean pop music that isn't so much these days in Western pop music, which is the whole like boy band thing or girl band or girl group thing, where like you've got like this lineup of anywhere from like 6 to 8 guys who are like all dancing together in unison, and it's really cool. But yeah. Anyway, a lot of Angelo's fellow students were really into that kind of music, so I wanted to make a K-pop song. Called My Bugatti, inspired by Angelo's K-pop fan fellow students, and also by just the luxurious feeling of a Bugatti Veyron. It's a very fast and very strong car, but it's also a very luxurious car. So let's listen to My Bugatti. I believe this is it loaded up right here. Yeah, so as you can see, I use a Nintendo Switch to make the backing tracks. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But anyway, I have it loaded up here, and Aissa and I, we're gonna sing it for you. Oh! Surprise! Not a surprise. It was actually explicitly announced that was what we would be doing. Anyway, here we go. 야, 너 무가지 뭔지 알아? 자동차야. 무지하게 빠른 자동차. 나같이 부가티 탈래? 아니? 여기 운전 안 했어. 우리 리프트 타고 가야 돼. 아니 안 할래? 그래 상관없어.
I bought a car. It cost $1 billion. Painted it blue. Yeah, that's my favorite color. I drove around just to show it off. There was a crowd. They couldn't get enough.
이 세상의 most beautiful machine, luxurious, superior, 최고 that I've seen, magnificent engine of unspeakable power. 상관없이 it's 250 miles per hour, fastest
ever
consumer
car.
So what if your gas can't get too far? According to the guys on BBC's Top Gear, the Bugatti Veyron is the car of the year. Bugatti 탄다, Bugatti 탄다, 잘 봐세요. Bugatti 탄다, Bugatti 탄다, Bugatti 탄다, 잘 봐세요. Bugatti 탄다, we're riding a Bugatti, riding a Bugatti. Check us out, we're riding a Bugatti, riding a Bugatti, riding a Bugatti. Check us out, we're riding a Bugatti. A kid saw my car and he said something nice.
Wow, what a nice car!
He followed that up with,
have a good day, sir.
I was amazed for this respectful kid. Bugatti 탄다 Bugatti 탄다 잘 봐세요 Bugatti 탄다 Bugatti 탄다 Bugatti 탄다 잘 봐세요 Bugatti 탄다 We're riding a Bugatti We're riding a Bugatti Check us out We're riding a Bugatti We're riding a Bugatti We're riding a Bugatti Check us out We're riding a Bugatti. There's a car crash.
Oh, yes!
No! All that money for nothing. The end.
The real end.
The real end. Yes. So that was My Bugatti, written by Angelo, adapted by yours truly into a K-pop song.
And we have a request. Can you translate what were you saying at the beginning of that song?
I will translate for you almost word for word what I said. Now you have to understand my Korean pronunciation pretty good. My actual Korean not as good because I grew up.
With you.
Yeah, I grew up. My parents spoke to me a lot in Korean, and I would speak back in English because their English was pretty good. And my Korean was okay, and that's just what worked for us. But anyway, so my Korean isn't perfect, so it might be a little grammatically iffy. But we're not too worried about grammar in Playmakers Lab at the best of times anyway, so it's okay. But in any case, what I was saying, I said, hey, do you know what a Bugatti is? It's a really fast car. Ooh. Do you want to ride a Bugatti with me? Oh, no, I didn't drive here. We'd have to go take a lift there first. No, you don't want to? Okay, that's okay. Don't worry about it. That's what I said at the beginning of the song.
Very respectable. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of other Korean words in it that I use in the rap verse. So it starts with 이 세상의 most beautiful machine. 이 세상에 means in this world. 이 like this. 세상에, which is like in this world. There's the most beautiful machine in the world. 이 세상의 most beautiful machine. Luxurious interior, 최고 that I've seen. 최고 just means best.
Cute. 최고.
이 세상의 most beautiful machine, luxurious interior, 최고 that I've seen. Magnificent engine of unspeakable power that is entirely in English. 상관없이 hits 250 miles per hour. 상관없이. 상관없어 means like it's not like without a care in the world. It'll just casually hit 250 miles per hour. 상관없이 hits 250 miles per hour without even thinking too hard about it. Because as an inanimate object, the Bugatti Veyron is incapable of thinking anyway. So it sounds cool and it's also true. 상관없이 hits 250 miles per hour, fastest ever consumer car. I think that's it for the Korean. But yeah, I didn't even anticipate going into the language there. But yeah, I guess that is a pretty important part of this
it's
foreign genre.
Right?
Yeah, it's the Korean part of it.
Well, cool. So then, talk us through how did you actually make the song?
Okay, cool. So, for this, I'm gonna actually go ahead and move this camera up a little bit closer, and by a little bit, I mean significantly closer. And this I'm gonna talk through this, so this seems smooth and
natural.
Seamless and professional, and not like it's shot in our very recently cleaned second bedroom. Don't tell them about that. It's okay. All right. So here's a nice clear view of the software that I use. In the background, you can see Soundwave, which I realize, ironically, is one of the very few transformers that doesn't turn into a car. Good work, Nick. I should have gone with anything else, but he turns into a boombox, so it is still kind of relevant.
Appropriate.
All right. So here's the software that I work with. Right. It's called the Core Gadget. And the Core Gadget is available for your, Mac and PC and all that stuff. But it's way more fun on the Nintendo Switch because I get to tell people I can make music with my Nintendo Switch, which is fun. I've actually been making music using Nintendo consoles for a really long time, since in the Nintendo DS, actually. Actually, the first time I made electronic music was with a program called MTV Music Maker, way back in 2001. That was when I was in middle school. But anyway, then I used the Nintendo DS to make some music. The Korg also made some software for that. It was kind of hard to use. I had no idea what I was doing, but I tried my best. And since then, I've been getting more and more music software for Nintendo consoles up till this Korg Gadget, which let's actually go to the title screen so you can see what it looks like. And it's this collection of synthesizers, this kind of fictional collection of synthesizers, right? So basically, I'll add that. There we go. And this is basically how it's structured. Basically, I start off with by looking at a bunch of different synthesizers. This is the very first screen that you see.
And this is like a drum machine, and they're all named after famous cities: London, Marseille. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. Marseille. Thank you. Aissa's been to France. Berlin, Chicago. Oh, that's relevant. And of course, it's a very cool acid house synth sound, as is appropriate for Chicago. Anyway, so the one that I chose to start off with this was, you know, like for the song, I wanted like a really luxurious kind of high class, like incredibly expensive airplane feel, because there's two components, really important components of the Bugatti. One is that it's fancy, and two is that it's fast. So this is to account for the fancy part, right? So I wanted a really light and airy sound, so I used this synthesizer, which can make those kinds of like sort of smooth, actually a lot of various different sounds. Like it can do some really crazy things. But for now, I'll focus on things as they are right now. So yeah, what does this sound make you think of?
I was gonna say, it feels nice and like, I think smooth is the right word for it. I also get like a little boppy. Like it has a little, it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm strolling along a beautiful garden full of flowers. Maybe I'm playing too much Animal Crossing on Switch too.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of Animal Crossing lately.
But cool ways to use your Switch, right? Making music with it. But yeah, it really just feels very dreamlike.
So the next element is the drums. Yeah, Cedar just says it makes me feel like I'm in a fancy mall.
Ooh.
Excellent. That's exactly a fancy mall, like the kind of mall that's so fancy that they somehow have like luxurious cars parked inside. That kind of mall.
Oh.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that comment.
Yeah, let us know what else you're feeling. How is this music making you feel?
Yeah, that's what I really want to talk about right now. Is like how do these sounds make you feel? So the drums kick in here. And this synthesizer is just a drum machine. Mary says it makes me feel like I'm at a fun dance party.
Oh.
Good. That's a good vibe, you know.
Yeah, I feel it.
K-pop is very dancey, you know. But even though it's dancey, I kind of wanted this song to have a bit of a lighter feel. A lot of times I like really heavy beats, but for this one, again, I wanted like a lighter, luxurious, silky feel. You know what I mean? So I've got this like pretty light hip hop beat, right? I'm still emphasizing, you know, the 2s and the 4s, so it feels real steady, but it's not too heavy. Does that make sense? And then the next part is what is, for me, the most important part of a song, because I am a bass player. I am particularly fond of this part of the song, which is, well, before I even let that in, I want to tell you, so like, again, what are the two parts of the Bugatti? It's fancy and it's fast. So this part accounts for how fast and strong it is. The Bugatti is a really luxurious car with a really, really strong engine. It's crazy how strong this engine is. So I wanted like a powerful bass sound that gives me that power. Ready? An elevator to a cool party, Taylor Galloway says. All right.
Yep. I feel like I'm in a pool.
Mary feels like she might be at a fashion show. Oh, that's interesting that you say that. I have another song that is a fashion show. But that's another story. That's a song for another day.
Oh yes, that's true. Bring that back.
But yeah, here's this very thick bass that I added here. What do you think of that? What does that make you? How does that make you feel? Does it sound like a car? Does it sound something like that?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it reminds me of the way it sounds when like you're in a car and you're like passing a bunch of things like
yeah,
zee or whatever.
Nice. Yeah. And usually I like more rhythmic kind of bass lines, but this one I just kind of, again, wanted a smooth feeling. All right, so now then I have a bit of a...
So it sounds like the way that a story, the feeling of a story is kind of like informs a lot when you're making these songs.
Exactly. Is there a passage that maybe this loop that kind of comes to mind when you hear this sound?
I feel like my Bugatti was blue and it's my favorite color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, I guess I feel like I'm at a pool. I feel like I'm swimming. Somebody says it sounds like a time warp.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, it's just like it's moving. It's taking us along.
So here we have a bit of a melody. This melody is actually pretty. It kind of sits way back. It's not very prominent in this song.
What?
But I also wanted like a light feeling.
What is that instrument that's doing the like? Whoop, whoop, whoop?
The what just added was added
Yeah.
there. All right, cool. So check it out. So in here we have this synthesizer. It's called Dublin. It's actually I usually use it for bass sounds.
Ooh.
So it can make a lot of like really interesting, like fun synthy sounds.
Yeah.
But it can only play one sound at a time. So if I have like a thick chord, like if I have a you know a big like thick chord, something like it can only play one of these notes at a time. It can't play two notes at a time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So in order to play two notes at a time, then I have to just duplicate it. I have to have two of these tracks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
It's cool. There's
So-
a lot of layers.
Yeah, a lot of different layers. And then the next part, and this is actually like probably the thickest part of the song, is when this track comes in. So let's actually mute things one at a time so we can hear it. So again, we start with this, and the drums come in, and then we have the bass. And then I wanted to add a little bit more texture, so I added this.
Whoa, whoa! What is that doing?
Should we isolate it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's even turn it up a
Sounds
little
like
bit.
it's going like backwards or something.
Do you want to look at how we made this sound?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the How do you say that again?
Marseille.
This is Marseille. Marseille is a synthesizer that
Marseille.
basically you can choose all sorts of different sounds. So it's like these are all pre-made sounds. It's pretty beginner friendly, right? Because here I can just be like, I want just the regular piano sound, or maybe I want some kind of violin sound, or maybe I want a really, really grating and terrible saxophone sound, or bagpipes. But probably not, right?
Not very K-poppy.
No, I do like. I've always liked this kind of sound. But now we're talking about remixing.
That
We're
sounds
getting
haunting.
we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, I actually have this preset called Bugatti Chopper. That's this sound. So the way that I made this sound was it's actually one of these synthesizers called Noisy Comp, right? But the missing thing is that, like, sort of the rhythm, the da 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 da, right? So I use this thing called a slicer that cuts it up rhythmically, and the first knob changes how fast it goes. Oh, and if you want to see how I do this, I actually turn the controller like this.
That's cool. I love how interactive Switch can be.
Yeah. So that all currently sounds like garbage because I can't get it quite right. So we'll just reset it to what I had it.
Okay.
So there's a couple of other effects going on there. But so then at like the thickest part of the song, these are all the component parts. And this is the chorus. Bugatti tanda 잘 봐세요. Bugatti tanda. Bugatti tanda. Bugatti tanda 잘 봐세요. Bugatti tanda.
What about the dance break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
how you made that different?
So we have a couple of like little breaks here. So one thing you couldn't really see when we were first performing. Oh, Mary says the bagpipes made it sound creepy. Maybe if we want to make a spooky version.
Hey, that's
Well,
a good idea.
yeah.
Let's hold on to that.
Hold on to that, yeah. So, all right. So, basically, you asked about the dance break. So, what's a break? A break is when like a lot of the instruments kind of drop out for a sec. And traditionally, it was like when at like big parties and like funk parties, like some of the musicians would just like, or jazz shows, like they would stop like playing, like especially the trumpet and trombone players. They would take a break, literally. So for a couple measures while the drummer and the bass player did like a solo or something. So the equivalent in this song would be where right after the second chorus, or I don't know exactly where this part is, but everything cuts out for a second. It's just this. Right? And actually, if we look at this over here, there's a lot more going on with the drums. So this is what the drums normally look like, but this is what it looks like for this part. And I added a lot more like bass here. That's when this comes in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So what do you think? What do you think of this song? Do you think it should stay exactly as is?
I think it's time to change it up. Let's mix it up.
Yeah. It's time to remix it. Yeah.
Remix. Yeah, sure. So what? How can we try to remix it? Why don't we? Are there any other feelings? I think we had Mary brought up a feeling that the bagpipes felt a little creepy.
Yeah.
What other types of feelings can we throw out that you're feeling or not?
What kind of feelings could a song, kind of evoke? Either what makes you feel like does it sound bouncy, or does it sound like smooth,
or
gritty, or edgy, or maybe it sounds like a pumping sort of sound? What are these different feelings? Like, what do you want to hear? Like, what do you want to feel? Like, how do you want a song to make you feel? Like, that's kind of a question I sometimes ask myself. That's a good starting point for me. I'm like, I want to write a song that sounds like kind of driving.
Yeah.
And then I start writing it, and then it inevitably sounds very smooth and airy because I never end up the way that I intend to. That's life. But at least I had a place to start, right? Like what I ended up with was still great.
Well, and we still have this wonderful evocative story. We still have this story about the Bugatti that makes us feel these certain ways. So, I mean, I'm sure we all have different feelings about that too. So
right.
Maybe ways that the Bugatti would make you feel if you were doing it too.
Right. Yeah. So, folks, if you're just joining us, hi Jennifer. We are going to remix my Bugatti. So, tell me, please write in the comments any sort of feelings that you kind of want the song to evoke. Mary has a cool idea.
Mary says, what if the song is creepy because it's all building towards the car crash? So if we can see if the story, so we could see what it's like if this story were part of a scary movie.
Cool. That's an awesome idea, Mary.
That's a great idea. Okay, so what are some scary sounds? Like you're the sound person here.
I am sound of mind, body, and spirit.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes. All right, cool. So this is a really cool suggestion. So to start off with this, then let's go back to kind of a part of the song where there's a lot going on in the song. This is where most of the parts are. So we can actually take them now one by one.
Okay.
What can we change? What do you think would be a good way for this to change? Do you think the song should be faster or slower if you want it to be creepy, or are you okay with how fast it is?
Let's try slowing it down a little. Can we go back and forth and just try?
Yeah, we can literally just go here, song settings, and actually this tap tempo is cool. I just push the button in.
Oh, what? Yeah, it's like you're dancing with it.
All right, and then we might even add a little bit of a swing.
All right, that sounds pretty cool.
I don't know how spooky it is. So what's spooky? This sound is very soothing.
Like echo or something, or some type of
something echoey,
or something like that.
Yeah. All right. So maybe let's change how this main synthesizer sounds, right? What else? Okay, something echoey.
Or that sounded like a sound word.
Well, if we want a creepy sound, maybe this might be a good choice. No, that sounds not creepy at all. It just sounds kind of cool. We'll put a pin in that one, but let's try something like. Oh, you know what might be spooky? Is the sound of voices.
Oh no.
This might be horrifying, all right? Not everything works, everybody.
No.
Do we have any other suggestions?
Less melodic. More minory?
Cool. All right, so let's start with changing the sound of. All right, and then so let's change. So we changed the sound of it. This is somewhere to start. Cedar gave a suggestion about the actual notes that we could change. So this is something I can't do quite as on.
It sort of sounds like an organ.
Let's have this. We could even just.
Oh no! Time to go driving in my Bugatti.
It's a little funky. I'm actually gonna. I like the swing. Yeah, screw it. We'll keep it there.
Okay.
And then you know what else might help make it spooky is a really low bass sound. So again, I love this bass.
Yeah. Oh.
Actually, we can keep that. But let's add it. Let's add some more really low sounds, because something something that really makes people uncomfortable is a very low sound, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want this song to make people uncomfortable, because that's what's spooky. But it might also be incredibly groovy. We'll see. So I'm actually gonna do this in secret, where I'm gonna. I'm gonna lay out these sounds and you're not.
Truly is a treat getting to see Nick remix live. Alright. Sounds like something's gonna creep on up at us.
Mary says the voices are very ominous.
Oh, absolutely.
So I can just copy and paste this and make it longer.
Brandon says I still love it. Try singing a little with it in a sec?
Sure, yeah. Let's try singing with this.
With these ominous voices.
Well, I'll actually we'll try doing the rap verse and then go into the.
Yeah, that'll be more.
So
helpful.
yeah. Years his tongue, it was beautiful machine, luxurious interior. Check out that I seen, magnificent, engine of unspeakable power, hanging up to 50 miles per hour, fastest
ever
consumer
car.
So what if your gas can't get too far? According to the guys on BBC's Top Gear, the Bugatti Veyron is the car of the year.
Yes.
Let's isolate this.
That was great. That was good.
Bugatti 탄다 잘 봐세요. Bugatti 탄다 잘 봐세요. Bugatti 탄다 riding a Bugatti check us out, we're riding a Bugatti check us out, we're riding a Bugatti. All right, cool. So that's we have a creepy version. Do we have any other ideas of how we can make this sound? Like what's a feeling that maybe you want to feel?
Wait, I want to name it.
Oh yeah. Should we name this version?
Yeah. Because that was cool on its own right there and then. I feel like that was called well, I don't know, what could it be named?
Do we have any ideas? Cedar says the speed makes it sound much creepier.
It does.
Brandon said a racing version, which is maybe my favorite thing that he could have said. But we'll get to that in a sec.
Oh yeah, that's incredible. Yes.
But yeah, let's name. What do we want to name? Hey, folks out there, what do we want to name this version? Bugatti what remix?
Bugatti a creepin' remix.
Bugatti creepin' remix.
Creepy. Creepy creep. There we go. That's perfect.
creepin' mix. I'll just do creepin' mix. Because that also sounds like maybe like a fun party snack too, you know?
Yeah, it tastes
And
good.
what is a pop song but a fun
Look for a good
but
name.
a fun party snack, you know? All right, cool. So let's load the original version again. And Brandon had a really awesome idea, which is to say a racing version, a super fast and chaotic. And that's one of my favorite things that he could have possibly said. Because, again, this is a song about a fast car, right?
Oh yeah.
And I like a lot of music. But I have a favorite genre. And let's dial this all back. This is going to be the backing beat to what I say. Actually, we'll just even do this. We can even just leave it at just the drums. All right. So this is like a nice cremix, says Cheddar Larson.
Cremix
Cheddar
is
Larson.
incredible. Oh my gosh.
Cedar Larson. Excuse me. But cremix. That sounds like cremation. I don't know. But that's a cool, that's a fun, creepy name for something. All right, so here we go with the drum beat. So one of my favorite genres of electronic music is drum and bass. Aissa knows this about me,
It's
and
true.
pretty much anyone who has to spend more than half an hour with me at a time knows this about me, because like basically the things I talk about are either drum and bass or martial arts, or Playmakers Live. This is my absolute favorite company to work for. Anyway, one of the things about, so Brandon wanted this song to be faster, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do something very counterintuitive, and I'm actually going to slow it down. Because because that's the tempo, right? That's just, you know, what every quarter note is. Bop, bop,
Oh,
bop,
yeah, that's
bop,
true.
bop, right? Bop, bop. So, what am I going to do? Right now, I'm just going to double up on, clear out the kick drum entirely, right? Because that's one of the most important things in terms of, like, the driving feel of a song is, like, where's the snare hit? And where does the kick drum hit? So I'm actually going to move this to be the actual snare drum, change the sound of it. All right, this sounds pretty slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna just add a little bit of kick drum. We'll just see how it turns out. That's incredibly slow, right?
I think it's so interesting how you build, because it kind of, I mean, you're really just like experimenting with it, right? Or do you know exactly like the type of beat you're going for?
I do, but I'm completely borking it up right now. Oh, here, that's why I'm doing it. So right now, I just need to flip it entirely. Watch what I do. It's gonna sound pretty bonkers. I'm actually gonna short. All right, so that's just for effect. So it's actually gonna sound faster when I take some stuff away.
Hey.
There we go. Do you hear
Yeah.
that? That's that drum and
Okay.
bass in the.
So we got drum and bass, we got some speed.
And then we'll do a couple little hi-hat things. Yeah.
Oh. What is that? Tambourish?
Yeah, it's like a tambourine.
Woo! Let's go.
I don't know why the sound just changed like that, but that's all right.
It's making me want to stand up and dance.
So that's one thing, right? The other thing is the bass line, right? Right now it's this kind of pretty static thing. But that's kind of, honestly, for this kind of song, I think I want something faster, right? So we can keep that spirit. Or actually not at all. I'm going to completely discard it. And have another heavy bass sort of thing going here.
This is so fast and funky. I love it. Although, also, Cedar says when you and Cedar taught together, actually, with Playmakers Lab, she was also called Cheddar. So, just some fun facts. Now this actually kind of sounds like one of those like race car video games. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you say that because nowadays a lot of racing video games have exclusively drum and bass soundtracks.
Really?
Oh yeah, speaking of video games, should we add some of that feel to it?
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite things. It's called Kingston, and it's designed to sound a lot like video game things, but by default it has this thing enabled that makes it cause crazy sounds when you have more than one.
Woo! It also like gives you such a sci-fi feel. Woo! Sounds like magic. Your brand new car.
You know what? We can even take this same chord. It's a little loud. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. This same insane bunchy chord. And I'm gonna apply it to something entirely different. Do you remember Chicago? What I said about Chicago? It's got like kind of funky Chicago house sound. This is gonna sound bonkers, but we'll see.
Wow. Okay, so this feels like I'm driving through a tunnel. And all the lights are just flashing past me.
Yeah, hold on. This could progress a little bit. Let's focus on this, on the bass line right now.
Got some cool sounds, 100% a car racing video game. This is our new Bugatti. I feel like this is like Bugatti San Andreas.
San Andreas. That's hilarious.
Bugatti Miami.
Bugatti Miami, yeah. Although, the real hotbed of drum and bass activity is the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So maybe
So
Bugatti,
Bugatti with the Queen.
Bugatti with the Queen. Alright, should we try doing the rap version of like the chorus over this?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's actually stick with this for you so I can. Alright. 이 세상. What up? 5, 6, 7, 8. He's here talking about freedom, being luxurious interior, taking the seat, magnificent engine of unspeakable power, sucking up to his 250 miles per hour. Fastest ever consumer cost. What if your gas don't get too far? According to the gift, it's way too fast. Bugatti 탄다 잘 봐세요 Bugatti 탄다 Bugatti 탄다 Bugatti 탄다 잘 봐세요 Bugatti 탄다 Bugatti 탄다 Bugatti 탄다 잘 봐세요 Bugatti 탄다 Bugatti 탄다 Bugatti 탄다 잘 봐세요 Bugatti 탄다. Cool. All right. So we've got like a really fun race car version of it. And then we're gonna see what it looks like when we fade this out. Oop. Yeah, sorry. All right.
Nice.
Cool. So, how are we doing on time? Oh man. Well, that's already been a 45-minute podcast. It seems.
What a wonderful time.
Mm-hmm.
Time flies when you're creating. So
Yeah.
thanks for making some 2 new songs with us, and what a wild remix.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, Ashley Bland says you can do the Footloose dance to this. So let's leave on that groove just so we can kind of really get that full effect as we kind of say our final remarks. Ooh, that's a totally different part of the song. All right. So, I'm gonna pull the camera back so we can see our faces again as we say goodbye to everyone. Yes, this is so smooth and professional.
It all is. Hello.
All
I'm
right.
here again.
Hello, Aissa's here. Oh, look at her face.
It's like I never left.
She didn't, actually. She was here the whole time. As was I. All right, so. Cool. That was our deconstruction of Bugatti. And we turned it into a couple of really cool remixes. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Like
and last-
again, how easy it is to like completely change an entire song with just like a little adjustments, and it was just like it was all based on feelings. Just like how easy it is to create a story or create anything from just a feeling. So with that, I like go out and continue to create stuff with whatever you have. If you are lucky enough and you have a Nintendo Switch, why not check out Chord Gadget? Make some songs on it. Or if you have any other instruments, we both also play instruments, and so.
There's like a lot of really cool apps for like the phone and for like even like your own home computer usually comes with some kind of software, even if it's not that powerful, that you can use to like make some kind of music, even if it's just to make little drum beats like this.
Yeah.
And
Slash, you don't need an instrument, your own voice.
Your voice is an instrument. I'm gonna do one last thing to close us out. As Aissa makes a final ask regarding Playmakers Lab.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining. Please consider making a donation to Playmakers Laboratory right here on Facebook. Playmakers Lab is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And again, we teach creative writing in Chicago to grades 3rd through 5th. So please donate and have a wonderful day. Make some music, dance a little, move around.
Yeah, move around a little, dance a little bit. And to take us out, I'm gonna change up the rhythm just one more time. Just to show how easy it is to change the feel of something. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.